Hey.
My love.
Your hair looks cute.
Thanks. My last couple of days of real hair. I'm about to put some braids in.
Oh shit.
I'm about to put in some braids.
What color are you doing?
Blonde.
Ooh.
I know. I'm super excited. I saw somebody with blonde braids yesterday, and I was like, oh, I can't wait.
Are you doing them yourself?
Yeah. You know,
Oh my god.
You know, I don't pay for hairstyles. I'm too cheap where I can do it my own.
I know. It's I'm the same way, but it's gonna be so much work.
Yes. Not even to mention everything else I have to do, but
For real.
the show must go on. I gotta figure out how to get these shadows out, but that's for another day, because today we're just gonna have to deal with it.
What shadows?
In my wall.
Oh, it doesn't look bad at all.
Oh.
I mean, I have no background. I've got fucking towels in my background, so.
I'm gonna build a background one of these days. Lindsey!
Jasmin, let's start
Hello!
our garage band recording.
Well, let's do our garage band before we get
For everyone watching, we're attempting to record this as a podcast as well. What up, digits?
Digits?
Did you guys battle?
Let me hear from you. I don't even think he follows me.
He just followed me like this week, and I just followed him back. So.
Oh, that's cool.
He better follow you after this.
We're always on Jeff's roast on the weekends.
You are?
Yeah.
Where?
They're on Instagram Live, crazy. Where else?
You've been doing this?
We're quarantined still.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep, every Saturday and Sunday.
You've been doing it every Saturday?
Oh. Well, not every week, but I've been on there consistently.
Cool. And we're here.
Up, guys!
Welcome.
B-ball.
Nothing is black and white.
But we
are. So this may be our first recorded episode, if all goes according to plan, where you can listen to it on podcast apps. So welcome. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much.
If it's not your first time listening, we're going to get the kinks ready.
We're getting them out.
We're doing everything ourselves. So we got to figure it out on our own, but we're going to get the fucking kinks out of there. And thank you to people that have been tuning in, whether by choice or by accident. We love you.
Yeah, it's funny when like you tune into somebody's Instagram live and then you feel like you can't leave because you're like, fuck.
Okay. And I don't ever feel like I can't leave. And and sometimes I'll literally be the only person in there. And I'm like, oh shit, let me get out of here before they call me out. I immediately, because Instagram just like, I mean, they literally just like suck you in. Like they don't even give you any warning. It's like I was trying to look at someone else's story and now I'm in a live and it's awkward because I don't want to be here.
Yeah, it should at least like be like, are you sure you want to join this person's live, or you are joining this person's live? And yeah, I'm always like the one person. If it's like I'm the one person and they haven't seen me yet, I just try to leave immediately. But if it's like somebody I actually like and know they're gonna say my name, I feel like I have to wait till they give me a shout out. And then sometimes
I put my phone on do not disturb, but yet I'm still getting calls and I don't get it. But I say, no, I get out of there.
I think if you're on Wi-Fi, that's the problem or something with do not disturb. Because yeah, you still get.
Yeah, that's facts. Oh well.
Because I noticed that too, and I was like, that's fucking annoying.
And I don't even know who was calling me from Orange Park, but people from Instagram call my Google Plus numbers on there, so they call it all the time to see if it's a real number.
Oh wow.
I'm like, yeah, bitches. All right, it's been a crazy ass week. Why is Marco bringing his butt back here when he knows I'm recording?
Something going on.
He's supposed to be either in or out, so Bentley's not barking, because now Bentley's gonna start barking.
Oh shit.
But anyway, we've had we see you sneaking in. We've had a real. Oh, he forgot his mask. Okay, better COVID.
All right.
Then that's a valid reason to come.
He's
back.
being responsible. That's good.
He's being responsible. Oh, I had a crazy freaking week, Lindsey.
Tell me about it.
Well, last week I was filming for People's Party literally all week. All week. Like they're just like jam packing us with episodes.
Block shoot.
Which kind of sucks as I've run out of clothes. And even though my shoulders are only showing, I still feel like, oh my God, I'm wearing the same thing. So that kind of sucks. This outfit I'm wearing now doesn't even fit. My boobs are like smushed because my stomach is so big, and I'm probably going to end up ripping the crotch, but that's neither here nor there.
Let's see the boobs. Is that camo? Oh, yes. Oh, cute. Your boobs got big. Jasmin got boobs with pregnancy.
I know. I'm so excited.
I wonder if they'll stay, because sometimes people's boobs stay after they...
Sometimes they say, sometimes they're pancakes. We'll see.
Good luck.
Hopefully, if I can just go back to what I had before, then I'll be fine. And then after I finish breastfeeding, I'm going to re-pierce my nipples, because right now I had to take my left one out because it was getting crusty. And I got my right one in because I'm not taking it out until the baby gets here. But
oh my God, I cannot with nipple piercings anymore. I used to have 4, and they never heal right. They get crusty.
That's because you had 4.
Yeah, but you just said yours got crusty too, and you only had 2.
Just my left one, not my right one. My left one just never liked my body. It never liked me. And as soon as I took it out, I tried to put it back in like, no, I'm just kidding. And my boob was like, So
speaking of
still here.
Speaking of pancakes, that's going to be one of our topics today. We'll be talking about the Aunt Jemima controversy.
Yes, pancakes. Not to be confused with breasts, but actually pancakes you put in your mouth. I also have
You can put both of those in your mouth. Come on now.
Well, you do put both in your mouth. That is true. You put both pancakes in your mouth. I heard pepperoni nipples, never crusty nipples.
We're not supposed to read the comments, Jasmin.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. I also had my virtual baby shower, which Lindsey attended. And
wait, what the fuck is a pepperoni nipple?
You're not supposed to read that comment.
I'm not reading it. You read it, so now I'm addressing it. What is a pepperoni nipple? I never heard of that.
That's what someone else wrote. I have no idea what a pepperoni nipple is. We're going to have questions at the end. So if your pepperoni nipple is still here, we'd love to chat later on.
We'll go back and read that comment later. So let us know about the pepperoni nipples digits we must know.
I want to hear about it. Yes, I had my virtual shower, which you attended. And not only did you attend, you showed up with me as your background on Zoom. And I stand for Lindsey because Lindsey stands for me.
It was great. It was so much fun. And your family is hilarious, dude.
That cravings game when I was talking about it's 2 inches and skinny, and my mom was like, "Is it a penis?" And I'm like,
yeah, your mom was literally the funniest person on that thing. I was like, okay, I see where Jasmin gets it from.
I went back and watched it, and I was like, my mom was really on a roll. Like, she was like, all of her jokes were hitting. It was hilarious. My father, when we were playing the baby food game, when he was like, "Is it prune?" I'm like, "Get your old ass off of here." Like,
I love prunes too.
But the only thing that I still can't get over is the fact that you think I eat 8 sandwiches at a time.
I misunderstood the question. She was playing a game where she was like naming her cravings, and she said something like, "I eat 8 of them, and they're breaded and have white meat in the inside." And I knew she was craving turkey sandwiches earlier, so I was like, "Turkey sandwich," and they all laughed at me.
Yeah, because I don't know who can eat 8 turkey sandwiches.
I could if I ate an edible.
I don't think you could still eat 8 turkey sandwiches, Lindsey.
I could eat at least 8 turkey sliders, you know?
Or maybe you can eat 8 slices of turkey inside of a sandwich.
Definitely.
I don't know how high you've gotten, but I just can't see you eating 8 turkey sandwiches.
I mean, I ate 2 grilled cheeses at 4 a.m. last night, so that gives you a gauge for. I be eating sandwiches, man. And New York sandwiches, they have more than 8 pieces of meat, right?
Can I tell you, like, I used to hate when we went on school trips and my mom was being cheap and made me take a at-home sandwich.
Yeah.
And everyone had their deli sandwiches filled like this thick of thinly sliced, perfectly placed turkey meats inside of their bread, and I just had 2 pieces. My mom only allowed us to have 2 pieces of turkey on our sandwich.
I'd have like peanut butter and jelly. It would be even worse than that.
Oh, that is worse. That is worse. Thanks, Mom.
Oh my God.
But what's worse than peanut butter and jelly is
a jelly sandwich, right? Ew.
Oh no, I was trying to lead into our first topic.
I don't know.
What's worse than peanut butter and jelly on a trip? A tampon, maybe?
Oh, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not catching on here. Yeah, okay, so our first topic we're going to talk about is the fact that a cop had a tampon in his Starbucks drink. And the only way that they knew he was a cop because he was off duty was because he had a police debit card, which I didn't even know existed. Like, what the fuck is that? Is it a blue card instead of a black card? And what does it get you? And how do you play the blue card?
Listen.
You just get off with murder.
I guess that blue card does get him off with murder, but it doesn't take the blood out of your cup.
And yeah, they never specified whether it was a used tampon or a non-used.
You couldn't tell because it was inside of coffee, so you know.
No, because it wasn't regular coffee. If it was regular coffee and it had been steeped in the hot liquid, then maybe it would be hard to tell. Because period can be brownish, which I've learned isn't normal.
When the blood dries, it's brown.
Right. Yeah. So if it was an old tampon that they had been saving, they have like
I don't think it was saving a tampon.
They have a jar. It's like a flavor at Starbucks. They're like police props. What is it? Police flavor. It's a jar.
Team Don't Stop at Red Lights to the next level because police don't stop at red lights. Figuratively or physically now.
Yes.
If she didn't have any type of diseases or anything, then I say kudos, bitch.
If she had a disease too.
I hope she doesn't have a disease now. I don't want to that's a little bit gross. But the fact that she thought so fast on her toes and she was like, oh, there's a cop here and I need to change my tampon.
Do you think she pulled it out? Was it?
Yeah, she pulled it out. Oh, okay. It could have been a fresh one, but I doubt it. I mean, I think that she pulled it out.
And yeah, because I was going to say, because it was a Frappuccino, cold liquids wouldn't absorb as quickly in such a, if you guys don't know what a tampon's like, it's like a cotton little sperm looking thing. It looks like a cotton sperm, right?
A cotton sperm?
I
said a cotton sperm.
I just picture the cop like pulling it out and being like, what kind of hippie straw is this? With all the fucking paper straws and shit now.
I want to know, and it's like, how fast did she have to pull that tampon out? Because Starbucks has pretty fast service. So it's like, he had to order, pay, and she was like, oh, wait, hold up. I got to go pull this tampon out. And this is what I'm getting. Starbucks has been under fire for not wanting to support the Black Lives Matter movement. So I think that the best thing for Starbucks to do right now is to lose the security footage so that whatever brave soul pulled out that tampon does not get penalized.
I just want to say that, I can pull out a tampon real fast if, when you're like ready to fuck and you're trying to pretend you're not on your period. So you just go pull it out real quick. Pull that out real quick.
I've never pulled out a tampon before my period. I mean, like while I'm already in the act of, getting it in. But I have pretended that I didn't know that I was on my period and had sex, and then it came out, and it's like
everyone's done that. Well, because sometimes you have sex on your period and you can't tell, like, because it kind of stays up there. The peeing clogs it up there or something. But
all right, since we're talking about gross stories,
not the tampon, the period. But it's gross if you leave the tampon in. But also, yeah, and but people have done it, like been drunk enough where they got it stuck up there, and then that's how you end up putting 2 tampons in. But I've had a guy pull it out before. Have you?
I've had a girl pull it out, which is even grosser.
How's that grosser? Oh, because she's gonna.
at JCPenney's in the backseat of her car. But that's neither here. That's not what I wanted to tell you about.
Neither here nor
This disgusting story. When the first person I had sex with, this was our second time having sex. And apparently my period started and I had no idea. And so we had sex. His mom popped up. So he's like, you know, he ran out the room to go talk to his mom or whatever to make sure she didn't come in the room and attack me or anything. And while he was doing that, I noticed a crime scene in his bed. And so while he was, you know, distracting his mom so I could get out of there, I politely put a pillow over there and ran to the bus stop. And I never spoke of it, and neither did he.
Oh my God. Was it a lot? A lot of blood?
Huh?
Was it a lot of blood?
Yes. I mean, okay, I don't know how much blood it was now, but it's, of course it's going to feel
It felt like it then.
It was like Step Brothers. There's blood everywhere. Such a bad idea.
My ex-boyfriend, my high school boyfriend, his mom knew that we like had a lot of sex all the time, and we would have sex on my period, and but she was like, I mean, she was a total drug addict. She ended up dying from drug overdose, R.I.P. But yeah, I had crazy experiences with this woman. I saw him throw a TV at her, and then she tried to kill herself. And I fucking saw that shit. She tried to overdose on pills, and then like she pretended to throw them up because he was trying to get her to throw them up, and she like poured the pill.
I thought it was a lighthearted blood conversation.
Sorry, I don't know why. I can't help but go there. But yeah, so she poured a bunch of the pills into the garbage can with water to pretend that she threw them up. So he thought she threw them up, and then they had to go pick his dad up from OTB, the racetrack, the bar. You know, where they bet on horses or whatever, on horse races.
I didn't know where that was.
It's all white people shit. This is all like real. They were real white.
This is like the epitome of white people shit right now. The whole story.
Yeah, so she gets in the car. He realizes that she's still fucked up because she took like 100 Klonopin, which me and him took one Klonopin one time. We ended up like breaking his bong, getting into like
Klonopin?
Klonopin is like an anxiety medication, but it's like an old school one. Like it's like Quaaludes or something. Like you get fucked up if you take one. And so we took one and like didn't remember anything, got in a huge fight and broke his bong like on purpose, angrily. And then this bitch took like 40 something of them and like 100 Tylenol 3. So she was like, she would have died. And so he realizes she's too fucked up. So he makes her pull over. He ends up driving. He doesn't have a fucking license, which reminds me, one time we got pulled over with a kid in the trunk who's now dead, both named Anthony. Not from the trunk. He wasn't dead in the trunk, but he's dead now.
I don't know how to pivot this conversation.
Okay, I'm almost done. So then she goes, they pick up the dad.
Lindsey, I forgot to put my headphones in.
Oh, does that? It might mess up the recording. See, we cannot do every time. Just put the headphones in now and hopefully it doesn't. It's good. It might mess it up, but we'll see. So then she picks up the dad, or he picks up the dad, and they call the ambulance, and she had to get her stomach pumped, and she survived. And then like a month later, or maybe a week later, like the next time I saw her, she was taking me to get ecstasy on Thanksgiving. I'm like, really, bitch?
And how old were you?
15.
Oh my gosh. I really hope that my daughter is not taking ecstasy and riding around with kids in trunks at 15. Oh God, please, baby fish, be good, behave. I want her to be a cool version, not a lame version that wants to tell everybody their version and condemn whoever's having sex, but a cool version that, you know, doesn't necessarily partake, but also doesn't judge others for partaking. That's
right.
Until
like
she's about 21.
Like the girl in Black as Fuck. Have you watched that yet?
Yeah, I've watched Black as Fuck.
The main character, Drea, she's a virgin, but she's like, monogamy and bisexuality aren't mutually exclusive. Like she's like knows all about that shit, but she never had sex.
Yes, I got it. I was reading the comments again. Sorry.
Stop it. Lots of bodies.
Stopping. All right. Enough about the blood. Let's go on to another topic. All right. So I was confused at first because first of all, I look at the shade room every morning. That's like a part of my routine. That's literally the first thing I do. I got to stay up on my gossip. And then I go to Google when I see these stories to do more research because you can't just take one word for it.
That's smart of you.
Even with my gossip, I still fact check.
You gotta fact check, y'all.
Right. So I saw
because I'd be reposting shit that's not true sometimes, and then I'm like, oh fuck.
Right, and then you look dumb because you have people like me, just like Lindsey is like the spell police. I'm the fact check. I will read your article just to call you out on a date or misinformation, or if your status doesn't match up with what the actual information is, I will do that. Which I don't feel bad. Everyone has their things, just like goes after me with the grammar police, but whatever.
Sorry.
So I read about one of the Jimmys, and at first glance, I was like, oh, didn't this already happen? Because I thought it was Jimmy Fallon.
Right.
Who just apologized for doing blackface a couple of weeks ago. But no, it was Jimmy Kimmel.
Apparently this was just acceptable, like obviously not to black people, but to white people. They were like, oh, blackface is fine, like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, because they didn't allow black people, like they didn't realize that black people can just do their own impersonations. You can just get a black actor to impersonate Chris Rock. You can just get a black actor to impersonate Oprah. You can just get a black actor to do a Snoop Christmas. Jimmy Kimmel.
Wait, to do what?
I'm going to get to that too. Jimmy Kimmel, who was on The Man Show, was the creator of The Man Show, did a series of impersonations where he needed to be in blackface. And one of the Oprah ones that I actually sent Lindsey the clip with, Oprah's running on top of a Hispanic lady.
Yeah.
Like, what? How fucking racist can you get? Like, I mean, I was on the Jimmy Kimmel show. I'm not friends with Jimmy Kimmel personally, but, you know, some of my good friends are friends with Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why doesn't anyone call people out? Not only did he do blackface on his TV show, which was on Comedy Central, so it had to go through so many checks and balances.
Right.
And everyone just felt like, oh, yeah, this is okay. He can portray a black woman. He can portray a black man. He's not saying anything positive about these people, but, oh, okay, cool, let him do it. It's entertainment. It's comedy.
Also, what do you think about the fact that Jamie Foxx was like, oh, come on, he was like, this is a reach when Jimmy Fallon got called out. He's like, he's doing a Chris Rock impression. I think that was Chris Rock. He's like, oh, this is a reach. He's doing an impression, but it's like, they're always doing an impression of a black person when they do blackface. That doesn't make it okay.
And this is the thing, when we just talked about this on People's Party too, and I didn't look at the actual clip of what he was doing. He was doing an impression and talking about how black people aren't on this game show because they would need to be asked 50 questions about how to make $50 or something about crack or whatever. Like, it was nothing positive. And
oh, wow.
I didn't find it funny when I went back and looked at it. And I also think that a part of the problem is that we keep making excuses for these comedians. I am a comedian, but I'm also black and I'm also a woman. So it's like a lot of things, like I feel like, you know, I can't really keep passing on anymore. I can't keep keeping my mouth shut. And shit, I'm not getting any stage time right now anyway, so why not keep on it? And
honestly, I think that, like, everybody always uses that excuse to be a shitty person. Like people write shitty comments on my Instagram and then be like, you're a comedian, you should be able to handle it. I'm like, first of all, what you said isn't funny, so that doesn't have anything. Right now. And I'm not at work, but it also has nothing to do with me being a comedian because you're not even funny. You made a bad joke. So don't just say shitty things about people just because you think that it's okay. And people always bring up the whole white face thing about the Wayans brothers doing white chicks. Yeah. And I'm like,
classic.
Yeah, that movie is so funny. And who fucking cares, dude? Like, let two black men do whiteface if they want to. Like, they deserve to do it by now.
White people are not oppressed. White people are not like not getting jobs because of their skin color.
Exactly.
I feel like we just said this last week. White people are not getting profiled because of their skin color. White people are not being killed by the cops because of their skin color. White people are not looked at as criminals because of their skin color. Maybe because of their clothes, or maybe if they're wearing a rapey hoodie, but not because of their skin color.
Maybe if they're tattooed like me and dressed like a whore.
Or maybe if they have bald spots with greasy hair and they're hanging around kids' schools, they might be getting prejudiced, but not just because they're white. They have a lot of other things that have to go along with it before it happens. And then so I just got knee deep in this whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. And so also, not only did he do the blackface on at least 3 different occasions on The Man Show, which is on Comedy Central, or which was on Comedy Central, and he was a creator, so it's not even like someone told him to do it. This was his idea, and they were like, oh yeah, let's do it. He also did this Christmas song, and where he was impersonating Snoop Dogg and said nigga like 6 times. Now,
wow.
Is it a problem that you're impersonating Snoop Dogg? No. But guess what you could have done in your Christmas song to make it better? Instead of actually saying nigga, you could have just used the beats. Then you got the same feel of what you wanted to do without being disrespectful to another race.
True.
Now, with that being said, I do understand that it was back in the late 90s. That is the only thing that I'm like, giving it some sort of a pass, because as we always say, once you know better, you're supposed to do better. And they didn't know better back then. They really thought, even though they should have, they thought, okay, and everybody else thought it was okay. And obviously, that's why it kept happening. So the problem with cancel culture is, at what point do you allow people to right their mistakes and move on?
Right. I think that it's like, yeah, there's certain things that you should be able to learn, but like, it's like, okay, yeah, if somebody rapes somebody, yeah, maybe they deserve to be canceled. You know what I mean? But like, there's certain things, but I do think it's funny that Jimmy Kimmel, is now taking a few months off. Like, he's treating it like a real cop. He's like, oh, I'll just get paid vacation for my race issue.
That is what's probably bothering me the most, is the fact that he didn't issue an apology, because we expected Jimmy Fallon to issue an apology, and he did. When Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars, and it came out about his sorry.
What?
I got kicked. Sorry. Ow. Come on. Where was I at? Damn it. Where was I?
Oh. He didn't issue an apology.
Oh, yeah, Kevin Hart, yeah. Kevin Hart had this, well, he didn't have to step down. He chose to step down from the Oscars because of the whole heated apology to the LGBTQ ABCDFG community, when he said what he said, and that was 10 years ago. And he was held accountable. People came out and was like, oh, I mean, they tried to cancel him, but you can't really cancel Kevin Hart when he pays for all of his own stuff. He's his own boss and everything. But he still was expected to apologize.
And that's the thing that's fucked up too, is because, at the time, and of course it doesn't make it right at the time, but at the time people were making a lot more gay jokes that were considered like just okay. I do want to say that one time when we were on tour, when I was on tour with the Suicide Girls, a lot of times tour buses end up parking at the same hotels, because only certain hotels have tour bus parking. So they end up parking next to each other. And we were parked next to Kevin Hart's 2 buses. He had 2 buses, but those were just for his crew. And he would fly home every night. This is what the bus driver told us. He would fly home every night to sleep with his wife. $10,000 private jet every single night. That's how much it costs. And so obviously he was making an insane amount of money, but that's how much she had him whipped after he cheated.
I mean, after you cheat, you kind of have to do what you have to do. You got to decide if you want your relationship. And he definitely decided he wanted his relationship, and he definitely put in the work. And shoot, $10,000 is nothing. And it's probably cheaper than having to buy jewelry every time.
That's a $10,000 a night pussy, baby.
Listen, it must be some good. If you got him coming home every night for that. Kudos kudos to you, woman. People be so much trying to get on her, like, oh, how could you go back to him? He cheated, blah, blah, blah. When you're going back to somebody that cheated on you and you don't have a family and he doesn't have any money.
Right.
So, they're quick to pass judgment, but, you don't know people's relationships and people are putting in that work. But that was neither here nor there. But the fact that they, we expected Kevin Hart to apologize and he still got penalized over 10-year-old tweets. I think the same thing should happen with Kimmel. I don't care that it was, acceptable back then. It's now out in the open. Also, though, I feel like a lot of these Republicans, because they can't stand Jimmy Kimmel, are trying to use this advantage, i.e. Donald Trump Jr. Where
is that who tweeted that?
Yeah, I'll read it. It's a
Oh yeah, Republicans love to jump on anytime any leftist or Democratic person fucks up and does something wrong, even though they be saying fucked up shit all day long, all the time.
Where is it? Oh, damn it. I thought I had it. We texted so much after I had my clip ready.
I mean, he basically just said that he was talking shit about Jimmy Kimmel and saying that this is disgusting, right?
He says, to be clear, I'm 100% against punishing comedians for jokes, even bad jokes from unfunny hack comedians like Jimmy Kimmel. But according to the left's own woke rules that Jimmy Kimmel wants to force upon others, it's hard to see how it allows him to keep his show. Do I think his show should be canceled? No. Do I think that he should be offering an apology? Yes.
Well, he did. So he did issue an apology, but I'm reading now on the New York Times. He did issue an apology saying that oh shit, okay. He said, I believe that I have evolved and matured over the last 20 plus years, and I hope that is evident to anyone who watches my show. I know that this will not be the last I hear of this, and that it will be used again to try to quiet me. Okay, you're talking about being silenced now, Jimmy Kimmel?
I kind of get where he's coming from, though, because from what I just read, that's what they're trying to do. Obviously, when people bring this stuff out, they're trying to call hypocrite, and because it also was stated like, oh, Jimmy Kimmel kept demanding for Trump's nigger tape to be pulled out or whatever, and then he had his own in the back burner too. Now,
right.
I will not compare Trump's anything to Jimmy Kimmel because Jimmy Kimmel was attempting to do it in comedy, even though I do not agree with it. I don't think that there was maliciousness or hate behind it. Whereas,
so is it true that that Jimmy Kimmel was trying to get Trump's N-word tape out?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay.
He was. But and obviously he didn't realize that he had his own N-word tape.
I mean, how did he not realize that though? Like, you don't remember that fucking song where you said it 6 times?
I listen. I don't know.
Maybe he smoked so much weed for his Snoop Dogg impersonation that he forgot.
And it really sucks because I like Jimmy Kimmel. Like I said, I was on his show or whatever. But I am not a part of the cancel culture that's going to be like, oh, you never need to have your show again. I think that it was a lesson that wasn't even a lesson yet. White people literally thought that shit was okay back then. And now we know it's not. And if he would have done it last week, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have had a totally different standpoint on it. But also, what's coming out about Jimmy Kimmel, because once it rains, it pours. He did an interview with Megan Fox where Megan Fox was saying that she was a backgrounder. Shout out to the backgrounders. I do that too. She was a backgrounder on Bad Boys, one of the Bad Boys movies. And she was 15, so she wasn't old enough to sit at the bar. So instead of sitting at the bar, they had her in a bikini getting sprayed with water.
And this was Michael Bay, the director's decision. And Michael Bay is kind of the person who ruined Megan Fox's career, we're finding out, because she spoke out against him and how he sexually harassed her on set.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that one. But yeah. And so she talked about it on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel just kind of made a joke about it, as oh, that's how everyone thinks. They just do a good job of hiding it, as if that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Which is why I'm so happy that in 2020, these things are no longer starting to be acceptable. Talking like
Yeah.
this about women, sexualizing teenagers is no longer acceptable in the entertainment industry.
Well, here's what she said. She said she was 15 years old, and yeah, instead, because she couldn't sit at the bar and have a drink legally, they decided, oh, let's put her in a skimpy bikini and 6-inch heels and put her under a waterfall, so she was getting soaking wet, and you could see her breasts getting wet. And then she was like, this is just a microcosm of how Michael Bay's mind works. And I don't know if at the time she was trying to call him out, or if she was just like,
so I didn't say it. I didn't want to fuck it up.
If you don't know what a microcosm is, a microcosm.
I know what it is. I couldn't pronounce the word correctly.
I'm not saying you don't know. I'm saying if anybody doesn't know. A microcosm is like a little world, like for instance, like a little patch of grass with little ants living in it, and beetles eat the ants. That's like a little microcosm. You know what I mean? But yeah, so she says, oh, that's just a microcosm of how his mind works. And then Jimmy Kimmel goes, oh, I think that's a microcosm of how we all work, but we all repress we have the decency to repress those feelings, which is like, what he's saying is basically, we all look at 15-year-old girls like they're hot, but we don't talk about it.
And I don't even like watching, like, I when I'm watching like a teen show, I will go and look up the age first before I start watching it, because I don't even like watching shows that I don't know how old these girls are, and they're, you know, in these sexual positions or anything like that. Like, I don't even like participating in the watching of that. But that's just me, because I mean, I just feel like it's gross. But I do think that they need to stop having teens in these positions, and I do think they have started not to have them, because that's why they have the 18 to look younger, and more times than not, it's adults that are put in these positions. But then you can also go with why have teen sex scenes anyway, even if they are adults, because they're portraying themselves as teens, so that's still kind of, you know,
it is weird. Yeah, it's like if you watch Riverdale, like they sexualize the fuck out of those kids, and yeah, all those people are above 18, and like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Kids, right?
no.
Oh, you have to watch Kids. It's a crazy movie, which I'm pretty sure condom companies paid for, because it's all about a girl who gets AIDS. And of course, it's like the virgin who had sex once who gets AIDS. And they have a girl who's supposed to be 11 in it, but she was actually 18, because I don't think it was legal then to have. But then Dakota Fanning has portrayed a girl who gets raped, and she was definitely under 18 when that happened. So I don't know what the laws are now about that, but I mean, at the same time, as I said earlier, I was 15 having lots of sex, so it is a thing that happened.
15-year-olds or 16-year-olds, but you know, I don't want to think about that being in a movie.
Right, but I guess if they're trying to portray it realistically,
I know, but that's why you can't get too deep in the wormhole, because nothing is black and white. Nothing is black and white.
But we are, baby.
We are. Not to get off topic, but I just see the UPS guy, and he's delivering packages. I think I need to close my window next time, because I'm like, and he's just like looking, swinging packages and stuff. And I'm like, that better not be my fucking package that he's about to drop off. Like, he's just like,
what do you mean swinging them around?
He literally he was swinging the package while he looked for the apartment number. He was literally like this.
Yeah. Like,
swinging the package.
You don't know what's in that.
I don't know what's
swing
in
my
it,
shit. That's what I mean. I meant him. You always think I'm talking to you.
I'm pregnant, and I have a slow pregnancy brain right now. You can't judge me.
I'm not judging.
I get a little pass. But yeah, I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh my God.
Moving on from Jimmy Kimmel. Oh. Last thing I'll say about Jimmy Kimmel. How I feel he can, ease back into it. Same thing as with Starbucks. He needs to, because he's going to be on his hiatus starting July 6th. He's going to have guest hosts. Number one, you should hire me as one of the guest hosts. And not only should you hire me, you should only hire women and people of color to go ahead and host your show. And and at least 3 Black people, because I think that you owe to our community at this point. Because
definitely
you think that you can say nigga this, nigga that, nigga, and you can't. But we can. So if you really want to have those sketches on your show, hire one of us.
Absolutely. And yeah, it sucks that like then people will say things like, you know, any company that now is jumping on board and having more black models or more just black people in general in whatever company it is, more black representation, people are like, oh, they're just jumping on the train, which for sure is true for some of them. But hey, that doesn't make it wrong. Like, it's still something that needs to happen. So let's let it happen, you know?
It's still something that needs to happen. Me personally, I know a lot of my other black brothers and sisters are not for it. Like, even with the black band-aids and all other stuff, they're like, just arrest Breonna Taylor's killer and stop killing us in the streets. We don't want your black
Seriously.
band-aids. But I do want the black band-aids, and I want you to arrest Breonna Taylor's killer, and I want you to stop killing us in the streets. And I want you to hire more black models, more black dancers, even more black backgrounders. It's when I do background acting, it'll be like 3 black people to like 10 million white people. And then we'll only get to work like one time. They're like, oh, we just need one of you. And they'll make jokes about it.
Oh my God.
Like, why do you think that there's only one black person that will be in this bar? Like, there's there's more black people in the world. In every part of life, they need to add more black representation, more Latinx representation, more Asian. Like, America has all of these people, not just white, and they'll have like a couple of blonde girls, a couple of brunettes, a couple of Lindseys, which is the blonde white girls, all these different types of white girls, but just one black girl.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And sometimes I'm the darkest one on set. And then other times there's a biracial girl who's the darkest girl on set. That's not right. Change all of that shit. Jimmy Kimmel, it can start by hiring me to be one of your guests. I'm back.
Yes, you froze for 2 seconds. Yes, hire Jasmin, Jimmy Kimmel, call him out. Let's tag him in this.
We come in so many shades.
So let's talk about now the Aunt Jemima situation, and then we're gonna have to go in like 10 minutes, so we'll open the floor for questions then. So now there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know about Aunt Jemima. I didn't realize, because when I first, you know, I mean, not when I first saw Aunt Jemima, I just never thought about it. I was like, oh, okay, it's a black woman on this. Like, you even might think, oh, a black woman owns this company. Maybe Aunt Jemima started it, but no, it was 2 white men, of course. That's funny too. You're like, oh,
no, because it's not funny that maybe a black woman owned it. It's just funny the fact that innocently white people, you're so naive because you really just don't know. Like, the history is not taught about so many things, so it's like you really don't see anything wrong with it, and it's so many white people that don't see anything wrong with the whole mammy thing or the whole portraying that, oh, we black people love being servants, we love being maids, all I want to do is wake up and serve my white family. That's really what they portrayed, and that's really what people, you know, think, and or they don't think anything about it at all.
Yeah, so I didn't even know the term mammy, which I just learned today because of you. So I guess for the people who don't know, Aunt Jemima was portrayed as a mammy who is basically like the help, you know, like a black woman who is basically still in slavery, working for white privileged families. But they're portrayed as being happy about it and loving their white family. And I'm sure there was complicated relationships where I'm sure that the black women who raised these white children, I'm sure they cared about these white children, because how could you not care about a child? But that doesn't make it right, the whole situation.
Think about this. How many people out here actually love their boss? Side note, I love my boss. Yay, People's Party. But
actually, I love my bosses too for Suicide Girls. I've loved a lot of bosses, but I've also
hated a lot of bosses.
Yeah.
And you have to make it seem like, you know, you're enjoying it because you just need that job. And at that time, maids were like the main jobs that black women could do. Like, we couldn't do any other jobs. So you had to like pretend it like it. And a lot of times these white families would be treating them like crap. And then they want to, you know, portray it like they're all happy-go-lucky about it. And what the Aunt Jemima symbol started out as is, you know, saying, oh, these pancakes are so good, you think that we hired help to come and cook them. And now here they are right in your house. And they had, you know, a black woman going around, being the Aunt Jemima model or whatever, the Aunt Jemima spokesperson.
So in a way, they're acknowledging the fact that Black people cook better than white people.
I mean, that's a given, Lindsey.
But what's it called? The other thing that I didn't know about Aunt Jemima is that the name comes from a blackface performer. They saw a blackface performer sing a song about a Jemima, and that's where they got the name from.
Mm-hmm.
But now here's something that's complicated, is that the family doesn't want them to take her off because they feel that it's erasing her history.
Which think... Go ahead.
No, you think what?
I think it's brainwashing. Like, I feel like, you know, first of all, her history is not going to be washed, but I feel like the whole story behind it should have never been in the first place. So stop trying to, you know, fix things that are trying to be changed. Don't fuck up the change for other Black people. Like, you know.
Right. Let the change happen just because your mom. Let the change
happen. Now, I don't want them to put a white woman on the syrup bottle because I'm probably not going to buy it then either.
No.
But.
And that just feels like erasing. That would feel like erasing a Black person. That would feel like
erasing either way, she was still there. No one's going to, like, we all know that she was there for 20 years. Or not 20 years, however many years it was on there. We all know it was there. It's not going to erase anything. But why not let people take the steps forward that need to be taken?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess, like, yeah, because really, no offense to, and I forget what her name is because I just read it this morning. It was Nancy something, but no offense to her family, but nobody's thinking about your actress, great aunt or whatever, when they're eating, you know, pancakes with syrup. That's not what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about her history or the fact that she got a great job out of that, because she was, but that is something that's interesting, is that she was a slave. Wait, no.
But that, you can't go back unless someone gets in a time machine and goes back and makes her not be the spokesperson. That's the only way that you can erase her as being the spokesperson. She will forever be the spokesperson, but let's change things and stop worshiping a mammy and worshiping that whole idolization. Let's keep moving forward. I feel like that, and that's a conversation to have on a closed Black caucus or whatever. Like, I don't like, you know, putting down other Black people in the spotlight or like on platforms, whatever. But I don't agree. I think that it should be changed, and I think the Uncle Ben and all of the stuff that has anything to do with racism should be changed.
And what do you think it should be changed to? Because I know they're going to change the name too. So what would you be happy with if they, like, what would be a happy medium for you?
Jasmine syrup.
I was going to say, why don't they just, like, you know, rebrand it and put like an actual modern Black chef on it or something? Like you.
I make amazing syrup.
Have you ever made syrup?
No, I have made syrup before. And I had to make, and I went to culinary school. Of course, I've made syrup.
Oh, well, I didn't know they make syrup.
You start off with the Cairo syrup. I can give you guys the ingredients later on.
I didn't know it was a staple in culinary school.
It's not, but we did it. We did it before. We did it in
our
class, actually. So it wouldn't be as you know, sugary sweet as store-bought syrup.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there also are a lot of Black-owned companies that have syrup, and I'll put those in the comment section when we put this on YouTube.
Oh, good idea. Buy Black. And okay, so we have one question that I want to answer, and if anybody else wants to ask any questions, my Instagram is gonna shut off in 5 minutes, so I just want to make sure we
Why
don't.
Why is yours gonna shut off?
Because it has a limit on it and whatever. But so it's gonna freeze. So, and because you can only be on here for an hour. So anyway, so somebody asked, what do we think about the charges against Ron Jeremy? I have not heard about
Ron Jeremy, the porn star.
Yeah, I opened for him recently.
You opened or you opened?
Oh, come on, not like that. But at a comedy show, I opened for Ron Jeremy. It was actually fun.
The problem. I'm sorry, Lindsey.
It's okay. So, what happened with Ron Jeremy? I don't know. Have you heard?
No, I have not heard. It's been so many other things going on that I just
seriously.
I haven't heard anything about Ron Jeremy.
Okay, so Ron Jeremy was charged with 3 counts of forcible rape and forcible penetration.
Oh my God.
By a foreign object, and 1 count of each. forcible oral copulation and sexual battery. If he's convicted, the charges could lead to a sentence of 90 years in prison. Let's be real, he's gonna die after like 2.
How old is he?
I don't know, but he's got narcolepsy. He's not a healthy man. He's definitely old. Oh, he's 67.
Never looked healthy.
Yeah, so he's
disgusting,
fucked.
Ron Jeremy. That's a new level of disgust.
Yeah, for real.
Ugh.
Okay, so let's close out the show.
My face is frozen this way at this point.
Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And this has been Nothing is Black and White, but we are. Hopefully our first audio podcast will come from this one. If not, we'll try a 4th time. I was like, 3rd time's the charm.
We're gonna get it. I felt like something was missing too while I was going. I was like, something doesn't seem right.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Nothing is Black and White, but we are. And we will see you guys next Tuesday.